Hey guys, today I'm going to do an update on that really weird basket, and I'm also going to show you how we water our mangaves right now. Here's the basket, and it's grown quite a bit. We keep it at around 58 degrees in the greenhouse, but today and this week we are in the mid 60s, so it feels almost like it's summertime all over again for us here in Wisconsin. But look how huge these kale have already grown. And you can tell that there's a couple different varieties. Like this one here gets more of like that white pink center, and this one here will have more of that purple center. And then we've got the Plum Coleus on top. And look how gorgeous that is growing as well. Beautiful. It's coming. Can't wait to see this fill out more, the Coleus. There were a lot of questions asking about how we water the mangaves. So right now we fill up this little bucket with water, and we did add a little bit of fertilizer in there, water soluble, and just kind of mix it in there. It's the Jacks. And then we just set it in there until the top looks wet. And we won't have to water them like this all the time. It's just that in these pots, they're really root bound. So they're extremely rooted, and they are ready to be bumped up into larger pots. But I don't have enough time within these next couple weeks to do that. So this is how we're going to water them, and I'm sure I'm only gonna have to water them once a week. This big guy is next. And once we do get them potted up into something larger, we won't have to soak them, even though we still could. So usually I would water from the top, but I would go under the foliage. So just right onto the dirt. I also want to share our geranium that's in blossom here today. It's a Calliope Geranium, which is a very vigorous growing geranium. Gets beautiful full foliage, large leaves, and this is the lavender rose color. Absolutely gorgeous and stunning. We even have the popcorn machine back out here this year. It was such a hit last year. It was so nice having a fresh snack while we were out here in the cold wintry weather in the greenhouse. But we've already been enjoying it and having so much fun with it, and it's just a great little addition in the greenhouse. The mums are still beautiful, but they are coming closer to an end. As you can tell, they're starting to get really dark around the outside of the flower, and soon will be browning. But we're going to keep them in here until that dark area turns brown, because it's still going to be Thanksgiving soon, but we are going to eventually replace these with either some pines or poinsettias, something to dress up the greenhouse and give it that magical feeling for the holiday time. I think I might have to move my mimosa because it's looking a little odd, unless there's bugs on it. Of course, there's always going to be something, right? I love mimosa. For some areas, it actually grows wild and it can be invasive. And actually, we kept a couple that we found reseeding in our pea gravel outside. And here's one of those. We dug it out. They have really sensitive roots when they're small. So I don't know how this is gonna do or play out with this one. And the other one we dug out, I now see is dead, so we'll have to get rid of that. We don't want to keep anything dead in here because that attracts more bugs. And you don't want that. Once you start getting bugs, it's like really hard to keep up with then. So I'm gonna move this one to more of an area that gets more of a filtered light. We're putting it beneath my asparagus fern. I don't know how it's gonna do there, but we'll just see. Sometimes you have to move things around to see where they perform the best and like it the best, because it's not about where you want to put something or where something looks the best. It's overall about the health of your plant and what they require and what they want, because they're living things too. And if you give them what they need and want, they'll be absolutely gorgeous and give you so much love. And we're gonna have to pick up our little gourds here as well. But surprisingly, they aren't rotted, even in the hot heat of the greenhouse on these sunny days. And over here, I've got all of my herbs that I saved. All kinds of little things for the kids to play with through the winter, and for us to even cook with or use to boil in water on the stovetop for a beautiful scent in the house. The eucalyptus that I cut out and planted from the window box, they're doing really good. I've got one here, and then I've got one over here, and it's looking super great. They're doing really well, and they're living, they're surviving, so that's a good sign. I'm gonna have to take down some little Halloween things I see here. I've got that little trick and treats thing back there, but the kids are enjoying it, so for now we're just gonna leave it. And we did end up digging out part of the banana tree in hopes that something will pop up there, but we'll see. I actually see a little leaf here trying to pop out, so we'll see what that does. This was the blood banana. This was from the really large one we had in the garden oasis sitting area, but we also do have the Hearty banana tree over here, and this one was supposed to withstand our winters here in Wisconsin down to zone 5 it can take, and it's looking really nice. And I could have planted it outside, but I really wanted to have something tropical in here because after the holidays I always like to start feeling more like, you know, it's gardening time, and even though we still have a few months that feel too much like winter. Because after the holidays, then we've got January, then we got February, and then March comes along, we're like, oh yeah, spring, but then March is not good. And then April comes along, we're like, yeah, spring, we get a 60-degree day, and we're like, yeah, let's go out and garden. And then you're like, oh great, now we have snow. So you never know what April brings you either, because they always say April showers bring May flowers, but sometimes it's April snow showers sometimes brings the May flower. Sometimes it actually doesn't help the bulbs and everything like that coming up, or sometimes we even have perennials that are returning and it can kind of stunt them a little bit and then have a later start with our perennials and the blossoming of all the shrubs. So you just never know what you're going to get here in Wisconsin, and I actually really like that. I like that every year I go into it not knowing what to expect and not knowing what's going to happen, because Mother Nature has her own plan, and we just have to live every single day by her plan, and I'm okay with that, and that's what makes gardening so exciting and so much fun. Thanks guys for watching this quick little update video. If you don't already, feel free to subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell for notifications. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much. See you next time.